Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my Master Your Mind. Yes, Master Your Marketing Mastermind. And we are going to master our mind here with Amber Zuckswert. You know, this girl has been everywhere. I can't even keep track of her. She lives in Costa Rica. She's currently in South Carolina, in Charleston. So I had to ask her a few questions and find out where this woman's at. But she truly lives the epic lifestyle. And we're going to talk about your epic self, which is what she's a founder of. So welcome to our Master Your Marketing Mastermind. How are you, my dear Amber?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me, Carrie. I'm excited to be here and share whatever I can to help everybody out there in the audience.
Well, I want people to know I'm as authentic as it comes. I can screw up an intro and just keep going with it. So
that's it.
That's what it is.
That's it. I'm with you.
It's not the first and it won't be the last. It's good stuff. Well, we're just learning from Amber that she just got engaged and just how fun and exciting life gets to be. And, you know, just having that her brand is Epic Self, it just screams who she is and she's truly living what she preaches. So tell us, Amber, really what led you to this journey? How did you get here? You know, why do you do what you do? It's so much fun, right? So
it's so fun. You know, I always say my why, it's so funny. It all really starts with dance, actually. So I grew up as a dancer my whole life. I was trained ballet and modern and jazz dancer from age 3 to my professional career ended at 28 when I left San Francisco. And so dance was really what my heart and mission and passion was back then. And what that led me to was all these other various modalities I now teach that also changed my life along the journey. So for example, I found Pilates, which helped me recover from a lot of my injuries over the years as a dancer. And I found yoga and meditation and then I found plant-based nutrition. And that also radically changed my life, to going vegan and studying nutrition fully. Wow, that was a big game changer. And then really deciding at a young age that I wanted to run my own life. I wanted to design my own life. Being a dancer, I knew I didn't want to have a 9-to-5 job. It was very clear to me, like sitting still was not going to happen for me for like 8 hours a day. I really wanted to be moving and teaching movement and also traveling. And so my first trip out of the U.S. when I was 16, I actually went to Costa Rica, and then shortly after went to Mexico with a group, and then also went to Thailand with my boyfriend. So the travel bug bit me really young as well. And so I started to just think, okay, if I wanted to create my life, what would it look like? And for me, it included a lot of travel. It included teaching the things I love, movement first and foremost, and then also plant-based nutrition. And so that really set me on the path of creating a lifestyle company that really supported not only like my heart and what I wanted in my lifestyle. I wanted the freedom and the flexibility to travel whenever I wanted, and also to be able to teach my passions and do fulfilling work that makes impact. That was super important to me. That was like number one. It had to be fulfilling. And and so yeah, that's what's brought me now to creating, retreats and teacher training programs and doing a lot of online coaching so that I have that freedom and flexibility, but also get to do what I love.
So when did you actually move to Costa Rica? When did you leave the States?
I left the States 4 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I actually opened up a studio space for that first year I was there. And we did retreats and training programs and daily classes and stuff. But I quickly realized I don't want to run or manage a brick and mortar space where I'm tethered to a location. That's really what I was trying to escape. Right. And so then I said, I just need to make everything go online. So then I ended up just producing retreats whenever I wanted to. So it ended up being every 2 months or so, every month at one point. It was a really intense production schedule. But then also the online coaching was what allowed me the freedom and flexibility to do that.
Right. It's the laptop lifestyle. And it really is, because it's what I preach and teach and create for people all over the world too. I think we forget and I love that you said, first, what does my life want? What do I want it to look like? So many of us are like, well, what do I have to do? Right. And that's so heavy instead of, what do I get to do, and expand that out? And that's what's so beautiful about what you just said is you started with the design, like, here's my clean slate. Let's just start to create. And it's a beautiful space.
A great practice I love to give to people is to just write down an ideal day. What would that ideal day look and feel like? Are you working 8 hours a day, or are you working only a couple hours a day? And if you're only working a couple hours a day, so you have the freedom to spend time with your family and your friends and travel, well, then what is it going to take you to get there? And so a lot of that just kind of understanding. And I know you're also into online coaching and automating businesses and doing things online, which allows you to leverage your time and have that freedom. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is the lifestyle you chose. and talk about the challenges, because it does sound so fluffy, doesn't it?
Oh, it sounds glorious, but it's been so hard to get. It's been 12 years since I started my website. And it went from, I literally started my website as a blog because my boyfriend at the time, blogging was just becoming something.
Yeah.
And I remember he was working for a media company called Glam Media, and they needed bloggers in the health and wellness portion. Because they're a big umbrella media company. They have hundreds of blogs underneath their umbrella that they send advertisements to. And they needed wellness bloggers. And Eddie looked at me and he's like, this could be a great side income for you. Like, what if you wrote about nutrition, all the things you love? I was like, I can totally do that. So started that website back then. But then once Skype became available, once I already had a really established private client base in San Francisco teaching Pilates, yoga, and nutrition, and then Skype became available, and I went, here's the technology I need to actually make an online thing as well. And that's when I started dabbling in online coaching.
Absolutely. I started in 2005 too. And I look back at so much technology, what's changed, like platforms like this, it didn't exist back then, and mass emails. I mean, I'm doing one-on-one emails and trying to blind copy people and all of the stuff we did so hard.
Oh my gosh.
Social media didn't exist, it's just not at all the stuff we have today, which is just, there's no excuses to not succeed. You can make anything happen. We've got so much at our fingertips. So as you're starting as the blogging, how did it grow, and what kind of, just be real. What was the hard stuff?
The hard stuff. Well, here's a great example. I spent initially about $6,000 to get my website redone, because at that time, like, WordPress was all coded. There was no drag and drop interfaces. There was no advanced themes that you could just download and play with if you didn't know code. So I ended up spending at the end of the day, before I figured out how to run my own website and all the technology developed to a point where I could actually do it on my own without a developer, I probably threw away at least, I want to say, around 20 grand in development costs of trying to like find a developer. And then, the design didn't turn out the way that I wanted. It took a year to make it because there was all this like design back and forth and Finally, the website gets up. It's a big dinosaur. It's not at all what I wanted it to be. I can't even function it. And I spent $6,000 on it. And then I have to like wipe the slate clean and start all over again. So really just struggling as a bootstrapping entrepreneur, like, wow, I don't have $10,000 just to spend on this right now and just to waste. And I was just getting really frustrated. So and I even had one developer actually steal he was using my website as a template for other websites that he was working on for other clients. And he ended up, because he liked the format, like the template I was using. So he ended up using that. So he stole my site off my server and was using it. It was just really weird things like that. And so finally I had to hire another developer to help scrape his server that he had stolen my site from and get my site back. Because at this point I had like 800 blogs and all these pages.
Oh my gosh.
And for my site to get taken like that, I mean, ooh, man, working with developers and putting their trust in them. Like, here is the password to my server. That is a very scary thing to do nowadays. You have to be really careful and really trust your developers. So I learned the hard way and wasted a lot of money and a lot of time not being willing to learn code. And I still am not willing to learn code, but like at the time there was no technology to help me do it. And so now So now it's a lot easier and it's wonderful. And so I agree with what you were saying earlier. Like, there's no reason that people can't have an online presence now. It's not nearly as hard as it used to be.
You don't have dial-up. You don't have AOL.
Right. Exactly. We have MailChimp. Yeah.
Right. All these free things. Lots of stuff is free or very low cost. Building a website. I mean, we just threw up one for our client in 2 days, and she had 45 pages to add. So I was like, it can happen.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
So much easier. Goodness, you poor thing.
And then some of the other like personal challenges that I love to share was just really when I left San Francisco and moved to Costa Rica, I really left my identity as a dancer behind. And I think that's something that a lot of us entrepreneurs don't necessarily think about or reflect on when we're just plowing ahead, is like, what are we not grieving? And for me, I left my dance career and just really dove into this whole new lifestyle, and didn't until like 6 months into the journey did I realize, like, whoa, this actually really affected me, that I'm no longer dancing. I no longer have that identity that I was so attached to my entire life. And it's no longer this discipline that I have, this creative expression I have. So that was a really big low emotionally for me. Like, yes, I was living my dream in one sense, but the other sense, I had shattered and lost my childhood dream. And that was I think shedding our layers and shedding our skins, that's not easy emotionally. And we have to take the time to reflect and grieve those lost selves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's sad. It's true, because you're growing, you're evolving, you're shedding layers, but you've got to put that past to rest. What's beautiful, and anyone that follows Amber can see that she's got gorgeous pictures. She's out in the jungle. The girl is bending over backwards, doing all of her beautiful. So she's still got the dancer inside of her. We can see that. You know, you can't really lose that part of you. You know, I have a friend also here locally that's like that, and even her poses still. I still see the ballerina, in some of it. It's just who you are.
Totally. The pointed feet are always going to be there. You can't not point your feet.
Yes. It's all good. And we love that part of you. And you get to have it in your branding, which is so much fun too, because it's still that chunk of you. Me, it was acting and theater. And I'm like, well, now I'm public speaking, and I still get to act on stage somewhat. I'm still very animated when I speak and do my talks. So there's that part of me that's like, it's okay, you still got the theater. So that was my background.
That's awesome. And how that prepared you for where you're at now, right? I mean, wow, what a background for exactly what you're doing.
Right. Performance. In fact, public speaking is way easier than performing and acting.
Yes, I imagine.
Yeah, you don't have scripts to remember, where you're choreographed, just like you've got to be here, there, you're a different character. Public speaking is just naturally, way easier. So over the years, obviously, you're learning and you're rolling with the times. That's what I love about your past background in this type of world, is that we've had to kind of stay in the cutting edge too. But what's the most effective way to market your products, especially retreats? Because I've been there, done that, sister. I know events. It's not as easy as it sounds. Oh, sure, come on over.
Oh, it's not. I learned that the hard way. Like my first retreat I produced in Mexico with my dear friend Tyler. At the time, I had like 40 private clients that saw me every week and paid a lot of money to see me as a trainer. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. Like at least 10 people are going to come to this retreat from my private client base. Not one came to my first retreat. And I remember and Tyler actually ended up bringing a lot of people from his local San Diego following, where he was just teaching large classes of people. And I remember he didn't have private clients. And I remember thinking, what? Like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And then the more I produced, the more I realized, wow, like 80% of the work is marketing and sales. And then 10% is on the ground, and then 10% is afterward. But it's like, just, there's so much that goes into it. And so what I found, because I refused to put money into marketing until only about 2 years ago, because I was kind of bootstrapping it in the way that I didn't want to spend a ton of money on advertising and marketing when I could just use social media. And I really love social media. So it was really fun for me. I love doing it. And so Instagram and Facebook are my two largest right now, and always have been. Like once I found Instagram, because I love to take photos and I love to write in alignment with the photos. It's kind of my art. I really like it. And so when I started doing that, I started seeing how I was building trust with my audience. And it really shocked me. Like I was able to sell out my retreats just through Instagram and Facebook alone. For the first several years I was running retreats. I've been producing retreats now for 10 years. And so it was really, like Instagram is really working. And the reason that Instagram is so powerful is because it's so visually focused, right? Like on Facebook, a lot of people are doing just like words and links and some photos, but Instagram is so focused on photos. And what I was selling was a lifestyle. What I was selling was an experience. And so you can experience that through a photo much more so than through Twitter or something like that. So I found it to be very powerful. But then when the algorithms started to shift, when Facebook bought Instagram, and then when Facebook started to reduce how many people were seeing your posts, and I was like, okay, game changed. Now I have to actually pay. So now I'm paying for Facebook ads, but it's still relatively small compared to what I'm able to return. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've had a brand online for so long, and I have so much content on my Facebook and Instagram, so they can go back and see the testimonials. They can go back and see all the various photos and events that I've led. And I have, just basically lots of media for that. Yeah. And so it's been easier for me to sell nowadays as well, even with a little bit of a advertising budget.
So are you using Facebook ads for your events as well?
I am. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't do Instagram ads right now, but Facebook ads are for sure. Like I know the formula now. I put this much in and I get this many sales in the retreat.
Yeah. It's a test and measure, guys. Don't ever think you can just throw money at the ads and walk away.
Yeah, like I just had an ad bomb and I was so bummed about it. I thought it was so great. Like I put up this great photo and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna work. And then I just ended up reverting back to the same ad I used a year ago because that one really went well. And I see it booming again. It's so interesting because you think you know, and then you don't.
And it could be the most random photo too, because you're like, this one's going to snag so much attention. It's bright, colorful, and there's like some other plain, simple. You're like, what the heck? I'm getting conversions off of that.
Right.
It's the strangest stuff because I'll play in that and dabble with it. I have an editor and a Facebook designer that works with me on that for my clients. Nice. But I'll play in it too. And I'm like, let's set up, 6 photos, videos. Let's test and measure. And it's always the one you think that's going to like skyrocket, doesn't get any clicks, and the other one's just going to town. You're like, crazy. Crazy. It's a test and measure. There's a definite science to it. So those that want to play in Facebook ads, definitely get somebody that knows what they're doing to help you. Don't just try to jump in all by yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like it's such an art, and especially because the algorithms are always changing, you really have to be on the ball and understand what's happening.
Yeah. Now, when you mentioned, okay, so Facebook and Instagram are kind of your play places, and you did slip out that during your dinosaur age of your website, you had 800 blogs. So we know you have a ton of content because you started blogging. That's really that creation space. It's so important, and I think our audience really needs to get this too. This is why you can't just turn on a switch and be a success tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That takes time to create that content, and that's your credibility and visibility. You're not just, people aren't just like, oh, who's Amber? Then they go and look over at her stuff and go, yep, she is who she says she is. She walks the talk. She's got all this background stuff. We just window shopped her. She is who she says she is. Right. And that takes years. Give yourself some time to build up that library of content and be reputable, so that when we Google your name, we see tons of wonderful stuff that matches your brand. It's consistent. But the key thing too, more than anything, Instagram, and I want our customers to really see this, not customers, but audience. You mentioned the visual visibility of it. Yeah. What I've noticed, I don't know if you see this too, it's an emotional space. Visual graphics like that bring out emotion. It's either happiness or sad or peaceful, that scenery. Mm-hmm. It brings up an emotion, which we're an emotional buy. Let's be honest. People purchase the intangible with emotion. So I love Instagram too, like you. It just grabs. You want people to feel like they landed on a magazine when they landed on your Instagram account. Like, whoa. Absolutely. And I'm sure yours looks like a travel magazine.
It does look like a travel magazine for sure.
Which pulls in all your people, that pulls in the right people.
I think the other aspect of Instagram, didn't mean to cut you off there, Carrie,
no, you're good.
Is that there's no clutter. Like on Facebook, there's ads, there's all these blinking things, all these rows, things happening. And Instagram is so simple. That's what I love about it. Like you're just scrolling and you don't even see all the text. You actually have to click it to open the text more, but it's like you can just scroll and see pretty things for hours if you want. Yep, I think absolutely. And I remember reading this one statistic that really struck me. It said sales are people are 60% more likely to, or more inclined to click on something or to like something when it's a visual versus just written text, which makes so much sense to speaking to what you said, which is that people love visuals and they evoke emotions, and that is, like you said, sells more. And so it made sense that Instagram was my number one selling platform for a while.
Absolutely. I have a lot of health coaches that are clients as well. And just, there's so much fun graphics you can create, from nature to food to bright flowers to whatever. Just like, how can you not go wrong? So my health coach that I just literally got off the phone with before I jumped on this was going through her Instagram and creating some fun stuff. And it's the bright colors. We're visual people. You need to have it. So give me some insight. Let's go a little deeper in the marketing side of Instagram. Sure. Because it is, and this is the complaint I hear, and it's not just teenagers, guys, just so you know.
No, very much no, because like when it started, people like you and I were getting on it at that time. We
absolutely.
saw it as a marketing tool right away. So it's very much, I'd say, middle-aged, very much so.
Yeah, I think more and more are realizing that. Now, Snapchat, things like that, maybe more younger-ish, give or take. Still see people older that are using it. But the one challenge, and I love, like you said, it's simple, which is great for conversion because people don't get lost in the noise, is the fact there's no links unless it's in your profile. So, so how are you snagging people? Like, how are you?
Great
I'm
question.
pretty, look at me. Okay, and then they're gone.
Then they're gone. Yeah, totally. So I always have it linking to the number one program I want them to click on, which is right now my Epic my Epic Academy yoga teacher training program. So that is the number one link there. And then like, let's say I want to give away my ebook one day, and I'll say, click the link in the bio to subscribe and things like that. I also do a lot of links in Instagram stories. I find so much success with Instagram stories. I'm not quite sure if you tried these, Carrie, but they are awesome. They're so awesome. I love it. People love direct messaging you. Like, I find I almost get more direct messages than I get comments on photos.
Yes.
So people love to engage and feel like they have that kind of inside connection to you, which I really enjoy as well. And so I've been adding links there too. Like, hey guys, grab my free ebook, swipe up and grab that. Or check out this YouTube video I just did with JP, click that. So that's been really powerful as well. Because you can put more links in that than you can in your,
Absolutely. Yeah. And the swiping up, it's just a no-brainer, they're just seeing, okay, do that. I like it too. I'm just as guilty as some days I can be a little too much into the stories, and then some days I'm not. Some days you're like, really, Carrie, you're taking us step by step through your day. Yes, you are. You're coming with me.
You're liking it, right?
That's right. And I like it because it does go away in 24 hours, but it is still like, it has that feeling of, okay, we get to go into your inner circle for a little bit, or like get to see behind the scenes what's really going on, kind of thing too. It just kind of gives a different energy. I love that. And that's a new thing, Facebook stories as well. I kind of have been bouncing back and forth. I have a bigger following on Facebook, so I'm getting tons of interaction with those stories than I am on Instagram. But I like to cheat and use the Instagram version because it lets you save the words, and then you could just cheat and copy and send it over to Facebook, and save
Beautiful.
time.
Beautiful. Love that.
Two stories going at the same time. Yes.
Nice. Perfect.
Just tap away, guys. Tap away. I like that too. I think people that aren't always, or maybe not aware of the Instagram feature to have the link. So that's huge.
I feel like that just came out maybe 4 months ago. I mean, it was very new. And especially for YouTubers, that was a big game changer for them. I don't do a lot of YouTube, but for me, it's, all links are great in Instagram stories. But I remember my YouTuber friends being like, oh, this is awesome, because they've never been able to just like have multiple for their videos coming up. They just wanted more link space, basically.
Yeah. When people can just tap a screen, you're going to get conversion. Because again, we're just little sheep over there doing what you tell us to do.
For sure.
And you're over there trying to fill your retreat, and it feels like you're herding cats. Come on, guys. Come on. That's what it feels like some days. I love this insight because we have to stay one step ahead. I'm sure you've seen so much in your 12 years, just from blogging to stories. You never would have thought, what?
No. And the other thing that I'm loving so much now is Facebook Live. I mean, clearly it's so obvious that the algorithms are favoring Facebook Lives, that they come up instantly, that it's something that people are also super attracted to. It's like, oh, it's happening now. Like, I want to see it when it's live so I can comment. And I know that there's Instagram Live now too, which I've played with a little bit. That's cool as well. But I feel like I get more traction on Facebook Live now than I do on Instagram Live, because Instagram's just mobile. Whereas if people are on their computers, they can tune in, I think, more frequently. Easier.
And again, the Facebook Live goes away, and the Instagram Live goes away.
Right. And
that's the part I like. Oh, I did all that work and it's gone.
Right. It's like Snapchat, which I see the reason that they do it, because it makes people want to look at it right away. But then, you're right, it's gone, and then no one can really reap the benefit of it long term.
Right. You can't repurpose it, or at least Facebook Live, you've got the video there for as long as you want it to. Whether you delete it or not. Yeah, I love Facebook Live too, and I use it a lot in my bigger groups. Not so much publicly, and I need to start, I was like, hello, Carrie, practice what you preach.
It's hard to be consistent with all of it. There's so many channels.
I know. And that's the truth with anybody that's listening in. Find what you love, master the hell out of it, just master that. Focus on that. It's bringing in that income. You don't need to be everywhere, spread thin. You're better off at, focused and dialed in one spot.
I couldn't agree.
It all happen. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Like, at one point I had this whole social media team, and they were doing Pinterest and Twitter and what is the other one? Tumblr, and like all these different, and I was like, you know what? This is such a waste of our time and energy when we could just be focusing on two and just driving at that.
Yep.
Much more.
What's working. I agree. Don't spread yourself thin. Because what sometimes happens, and I know people in our audience think I have to have it all.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not on Twitter at all and you haven't posted in 2 years, now you look like you're closed for business. You're not open anymore.
Yeah.
Is she
true.
alive? I haven't seen a tweet in 2 years.
Right.
So you're better off just getting rid of it altogether if you can't keep up with it. It just kind of gives a weird vibe. Just something I noticed when I jumped onto someone's Instagram and there's like 3 posts and that's it. You're like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree.
Are you just on here to stalk all the rest of us?
Basically.
Yes. That's it. That's basically it. Well, as we kind of come towards the tail end of this juicy interview with Amber,
Yeah.
I'm curious what your next plans are aside from getting married. Which is just so happy for you. I love
so much.
Anything that's just yummy and delicious. I'm like, yes, fuel that, more of that. It's just enough bad news out there. Let's celebrate the good stuff. But what's your grand vision, like literally where you see you're going? Because you've accomplished so much in 12 years. I mean, you're living in Costa Rica, you're having retreats, you've got this lifestyle business. Where do you go from here, my dear?
Wow. It's so the next step, 2018 is a big shift just because now my life is really shifting with JP and I won't be just stationed in Costa Rica anymore. I'm actually expanding to do more retreats and teacher training programs worldwide, which is something I did like early on in my retreat days. I was doing, retreats in Bali and Mexico and Australia and other places. But so next year I'm doing 3 yoga teacher training programs, which is my the creme de la creme of my programs is 30-day yoga teacher training program plus business academy. So you basically walk away with a business and a yoga certification. So it's my baby because I'm all about empowering the light workers of the world to really go out there and make impact. But in order to do so, you have to be able to run a business and keep it successful. So I'm doing that in Costa Rica in January, June in Thailand, and November in Bali. So we're doing 3 next year. And I hope to expand that and do 4 every year. But basically just leveraging my time as well. So only having like 4 major productions a year versus having a retreat every month, for example. And then at the same time, I'm building out my ClickFunnels right now. And I'm actually learning that whole system so that I can put my online programs into basically just let them go broader and let them go out. Autopilot, everything. So I'm also working on my first webinar, which I'm excited about. And I'm writing all the scripts. And that's been really exciting and challenging to jump into that because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while to really leverage myself and be able to make more impact. But now it's becoming a reality. So that's really exciting.
That's the true lifestyle business. When things are running while you're sleeping or you're playing somewhere, they're like, wait, weren't you on a webinar? No, I was golfing.
Right.
That wasn't me.
Yeah. And I feel like
so fun.
That's where this is progressing, is just more and more leveraging of my time.
Yes.
I'm still working. I'm still grinding. Like I grind because I love it too, but it's like, I want to get to a place where I'm working only a couple hours a day. That would be my ideal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm with you, girl. And then I go and launch a whole nother speaking agency this year. I'm like, what am I doing? Let's split me in half.
It's just like be leveraging me. Space and then you start making more stuff, right? That's the challenge of a creative. You just start making more things.
Yes. It's all good. It'll all work itself out. Gorgeous. I'm curious. Are you going to do any of these retreats with your man?
We've talked about that because he's actually done a lot of retreats in the past as well. And so we haven't really dove into that right now because he's actually building his online community and his ClickFunnels right now and really shifting his business towards more automation as well. So we want to do that in the future. And I think we both really co-facilitate really well together, teaching workshops and stuff. So I think it'll be really easy. And a lot of things like I really love doing like all the organizing and logistics and all that. He really hates doing. And so we're going to be able to, and then on the other side, he loves all the creative work. And so we're going to be able to really work together as a team, I think really, really well for retreats. Yeah.
That would be nice. And for those that, I don't know if you mind me bragging, those that follow, it's JP Sears, right? Do I have his name right? Okay.
Yes.
We've all seen his videos. Go look him up. He's freaking hilarious.
Super
okay.
nice.
I'm like, wow, he's got a serious bone enough to snag this hot goddess. Okay. Maybe JP isn't just fun and games. He's hilarious.
So
I've been following him for a long time. So to see you guys together, I was like, oh, no way. This is so cool. So super fun. You've got to do stuff together, at least a little bit.
I so look forward to it. And the stuff we have done together so far has been really successful. We got a lot of great feedback. And a lot of people don't know, but he was an emotional healing coach for 15 years and had a solid private client base online that let him make videos for fun. And so the videos were very much, though they catalyzed a huge audience for him, they were very much just like an amusement thing. he was doing on the side. And it boomed. And now it's like, now the people who found him from his comedy are now going, oh, wait, there's actually a lot more going on here. Like he's actually, the way he writes is he does it for a reason, to like awaken people and kind of put light on their shadows and things like that. So it's bringing, now his online community is all about real, like actual transformation and, and helping people just lead more fulfilling lives, but also through play. So his comedy is part of that. Yeah.
I think people remember it, when there's an emotion tied to either crying or laughing, they remember the teaching. So it sticks with us when there's that strong emotion. No, great energy between the two of you guys. You will go far. And yes, I love it when couples can play together a little bit in business, but still have their own identities and still kind of come together. I think it's just powerful.
I love that.
Should be. That's the way it should be. Very beautiful. So Amber's got a beautiful gift for everyone, and it's not just any gift. I want you to go into this. She's actually going to help you detox your life. So explain this beautiful offer you have for our audience.
Sure. So this is a 3-hour e-course, and it's designed to really give you guys a very holistic way to detoxify many areas of your life. So we dive into nutrition, of course. We talk about things to eliminate, things to add in. We talk about home environment, like different chemicals you want to get rid of in your house that are basically affecting you on a cellular level. Then we've got internal self-dialogue, exercises to help you realize what thoughts you need to let go of and things like that. We also talk about like just social circles and how to communicate clearly with people. So lots of ways to let go of what's no longer serving you in order to really step into your highest expression and your most authentic self.
I love that. And when we think of detox, sometimes we're thinking, oh, a liver cleanse or something of that nature. What herbs do I need to take? But there's so much more than just your liver.
Oh, very much so. There's all aspects of our lives can be looked at in terms and it's really just about letting go of things that aren't serving you. So whatever that may be.
Yeah. In my book, it's called Permission to Be Me. It was kind of like a let go. Whatever is not really Carrie gets to go away, it's a mask or it's covering me up or something's in my way or it's blocking that energy. So, detoxing your life gives you space to fill what you really want. It's like cleaning house. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. Any final thoughts for our audience today, Amber, before we let you go?
Yes. Final thought always is to follow your heart because nothing else matters. And if you're really aligned with your heart's soul and purpose here in life, meaning like when you're building your businesses, nothing can stop you because that passion from your heart is going to keep driving you forward. But I think we have to really get in alignment with that first and make sure the work we're doing is super fulfilling. Otherwise, it's a challenging journey unless you really have your heart behind it. So
couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It is. It's true. Having that fuel is what gets you through the bad days.
Absolutely. Having like that grander mission of like, what is it that I'm doing in the world for the collective, not for myself, but for the collective. That's what keeps me going personally. And, the fact that I get to do that teaching my passions really is just the best ever. But you can have it and we all deserve it. It's just whether we're willing to align and then do the work necessary.
Right. Yeah. I always, with my clients, we're going to go inward before we go outward because it doesn't work if you're so out of alignment. You're doing what you think your head tells you to do and your heart over here really wants to talk about this.
Right.
It doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's good
I love
stuff.
That.
Perfect final thoughts. Well, I'm going to let everyone go. I thank Amber from the bottom of my heart for giving us some time today. She's just bouncing all over the place, bouncing around the state. She was in Costa Rica. I had to figure out where she was right now. It's all good. It's all good. That's the lifestyle business she has. She created it for herself. She gets to enjoy that. Good stuff. So thanks, everyone. Thank you so much, Amber. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.